Hello, welcome to my video. In this video, I'll go over my portfolio pieces that got me into several art schools that I have applied to. I think this is my very first ever YouTube video that I've made. So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, I hope this video helps you with your college preparation and portfolio preparation. I always kind of wanted to make these kind of videos when I was also preparing for art school. I used to watch a lot of art school portfolio pieces, and yeah, they did really give me a lot of insight and help. So I'll first go over where I got accepted to. So I have a list here. I got accepted to School of Visual Arts, School of Arts Institute of Chicago, Savannah College of Art and Design, Rochester Institute of Technology, Ringling College of Art and Design, Pratt Institute, Parsons School of Design, and Maryland Institute College of Art. So I have overall two themes in my portfolio. One is about, both of them are based on my childhood. And the first one is about when I grew up in a small island in South Korea. I moved to an island called Jeju Island when I was little, and I lived there for about 6 years. And I was very much inspired by the nature. And there is a rock wall that you can see everywhere if you go to Jeju Island. And what's very unique about that is that normally rock walls, they're all like very stacked up with each other. So it's to kind of set a boundary between a region or an area so that people can't see what's on the other side, or it's there to protect it from something. But the thing about Jeju rock walls is that they have very, very large gaps in between the rocks. I'll put an image up here. It is so that the wind can go through them, and also to kind of divide the farms. There's a lot of farm fields in Jeju Island, and also it looks very wobbly because of those gaps, but actually those gaps is what makes the wall stronger, because the wind can go through them, so it doesn't actually knock over the walls. And I thought this resembles a lot with human interaction. Like whenever we encounter someone new or whenever we talk to someone, we always have a wall in front of us, and which is normal when we talk to new people. And some people, the wall can be even bigger. But if you look very, very closely and be patient, you can notice a small gap of that person's wall. So I wanted to deliver a message that if you wait and be patient and try to look carefully into the small gap, you can see the other person's heart and understand them and empathize with them. So yeah, that's the first overall theme of my portfolio. The second one is based on my childhood. It is a little bit more specific and very personal. It is about when I grew up in a very conservative Christian household, so I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of things like Disney, Pixar, anything that contained like fairy tales or magic. I was not allowed to watch them at all, and I was only exposed to like Christian movies and Christian shows and gospel music and Christian music for kids. So I also was in America at that time, so whenever I saw all of my other friends being able to do that, I was very jealous, and I didn't really understand why I couldn't do any of that. And especially on Halloween, I couldn't understand at all why I was the only one who wasn't allowed to participate in it. So that is what my second theme is about. I think I will go over that theme in more detail as I show you my portfolio pieces. I will go over the pieces in order. I have this piece on my screen right now. I'll edit the piece in this video as well. This piece is called Relationships, and it is an installation, as you can tell, and I mixed prints and paintings together, and I used film papers. They're like acrylic papers, I think, and some of them I painted actual rocks on them, and some of them I printed rocks images. And I used 4 layers of really big film papers and kind of overlapped them in the front and connected the rocks together using a red string. So this is a close-up picture as well, and you can see how the red strings are going through the rocks and kind of interconnecting with each other. And I was very inspired by the red strings theory. It is about how people are all connected and that they are destined to meet in the future. So I thought this kind of also relates to our interactions and our encounters with other people. So I thought the rock represents an individual and the red string kind of connects all of us. And the entire piece kind of also emphasizes a community as a whole. So this is my second piece. It is the same theme from the previous one, and I made a children book. Since I'm an illustration major, I kind of wanted to include some of these like very cutesy and more simple and friendly drawing like design in my portfolio piece. So yeah, it is a little more simple compared to my other works, but yeah. So it's about a little girl moving into a new town, and this other girl gives her a gift, and that breaks the boundaries between them, and the other girl opens her heart and they become best friends. And then the next artwork. So I also tried to relate this work to my overall theme, which is about understanding with each other. But I also wanted to kind of like do something a little different, because if the ideas overlap too much, it can get a little boring for the judges. So this one, I tried to be a little bit more creative with my material, so I used rice paper as my base, and on top of that I used acrylic paint. So yeah, on the first one, behind the rice papers, I whipped out some of the pieces of my journal and put it in the back. So it's about the two figures kind of having a honest conversation and understanding each other. And yeah. And then the next one is also the same theme, but it is a little bit more, I guess, like healing. It's more about healing. It's more less abstract than my other works. So this one is inspired by my memory of when I used to bike around the shores in Jeju Island, and I saw a lot of nature at that time, and it was very, very like a moment of a meditation and healing, something like that. So I tried to recreate that by creating my own path of Jeju Island. So I made 81 pieces of watercolor and made an installation. And these rocks on the behind is a recycle from my first work that I have shown you. So this is the 81 pieces. And this is the next work. It is called, I forgot what it was called. It was called A Cozy Cafe. And this is mainly an observation work. It doesn't really have much meaning in it, but I try to use a lot of contrast here. I use color pencils, and also I try to show the relationship between the 4 figures here. And this is the next one. It's a little similar with the previous one, but for this one I used coffee as the base, and I used Korean pigment, Korean traditional pigment paint. It is a little similar to watercolor, but I guess it is a little bit more vibrant and thick than watercolor. And also this paper is also called hanji, which is Korean traditional paper. So this one similarly to my previous piece, it shows the relationship between the human figures, and also it is a bit more playful and a little bit more free, I guess. And this is my other work. I forgot what the title was, but I tried to do like something like a photo montage. I added this piece because I kind of want to show more diversity in my portfolio piece, and yeah, this is based on my childhood as well. It's a little bit more playful. It shows my overall journey from me being born in the US and traveling to Jeju Island and to South Korea, and yeah. So I use a lot of random pictures. They're not real random, but I use pictures from my childhood, and yeah, you can kind of see these funny little elements. There's some kind of an explosion happening here. And this is my next work. This is called A Parking Lot. It is an oil painting. This is also an observational work, so it mainly shows my skills, but I also kind of try to convey like a feeling of emptiness and loneliness, and yeah. This is my next work. It is called Perfectionism. This is based on my idea of how I think perfectionism is like. So this is based on a biblical narrative called the Tower of Babel, and I recreated the Tower of Babel with the metaphor of Jenga, because I found those two subjects pretty similar. So to briefly explain what the Tower of Babel was about, it was about, in Genesis, people tried to build a tower to reach the same, like the equal state of God. So they believe that the higher the tower, they can reach God, so that they can become like God. So to become like God is to become perfect. And however, that didn't work out for them, because their attempt failed, because God punished them by giving them different languages so that they couldn't communicate with each other. And the Tower of Babel, I think it fell. I'm not exactly sure, but I thought that was very, very similar to us, our human state. And the gameplay of Jenga was also pretty similar too. The more you stack, the more the tower gets unstable and eventually falls down, and that's how the game ends. So I thought that also was very similar to the human desire to become perfect. So I made different paintings of it's acrylic paintings on paper, and I also used different sizes of paper. And from the bottom, it's starts very big, and then the more it reaches the top, the size of the paper gets smaller. That is also intended. I try to create a sense of perspective as well. So the overall message of this work is that it is okay to be imperfect, and instead of trying so hard to reach the top, we should accept our imperfect flaws and our unstableness, and yeah. This is the next work. It is also an acrylic painting. It is called The Tug of War. It is an observational work. So I try to convey a feeling of dynamical movement in action. So you can kind of see how I emphasize more on the right side, where it is more solid and these kids are really, really holding on to it. So it kind of shows that strength and boldness as well. And the more it moves on to the left, you can kind of see it's a little getting more loosened up and then kind of fading away. So I also intended to draw the viewer's eyes from right to left. Yes, to create a sense of movement. This is my next work. the title of this work is called A Meal. So the reference picture was from like a Canadian restaurant, and it was a very, very like cozy homemade meal restaurant. So I try to convey that feeling as well through my work. So I used newspaper and cardboard, prints, and materials I can find in your daily life to create a sense of friendliness and coziness in my work. This is my next work. I posted it on TikTok and it actually went really viral, surprisingly, because I created this work within like 2 weeks. So I was like in a really big rush because my deadline was coming up. This was actually my very, very last piece that I had created. But yeah, this is just the way how I ordered. So this piece is called All of My Burdens, and it symbolizes all the burdens that I carried throughout my life and how it can get very overwhelming if it's too much. And this is made out of slime, and you can see the awards that I have received and pictures of my friends. It symbolizes my obsessions, and you can tell that it is about my obsession towards getting good grades, getting recognized from other people, and yeah, getting obsessed with how other people think of me. And you can also see that on the top it starts with a very vibrant pink color, but towards the bottom it turns very like dirty. It looks kind of dirty and it looks very icky, which also shows that the more you carry on your burdens, the more it can become an unnecessary burden for you. So this is the true color of your obsessions, and if it gets really bad, then it's not healthy for you. So yeah. And this is my next work. It is a self-portrait. This is where my second idea kind of starts showing up. So this is also an observation. I won't say it's like my best work that I've done, but I just included because I thought I needed like an observation work, and I thought self-portrait was a good one. So yeah, this one is kind of like a more bright mood, and it's more mysterious and like fantastical and magical, and a little bit more cutesy. So yeah, I included that as one of my portfolio pieces. And this is my next work. It is called Tinkerbell's Shadow, and this is an installation work. This is actually a sculpture, and this is a acrylic painted Tinkerbell figure. I noticed how a lot of people think that it's photoshopped. It is not. This is completely handmade. The sculpture was made out of like a foam, and on the sides, the wings, it is made out of wire, and I pasted these feathers. These are spray painted feathers, and I glued them by hand. And the Tinkerbell on the front, like I said, I painted them with acrylic paint. And yeah, so about the story behind of this, it is based on my childhood when I wasn't allowed to do Halloween or go trick-or-treating with my friends. So the Tinkerbell on the front kind of represents my outer shell, how I am shown outside to other people. It kind of gives like a sense of irony and contrast, because Tinkerbell is supposed to be like a character who flies around and who is very free, but she is holding a teacup in a Bible. So holding a teacup back in the days, during old times, it showed nobility and conservatism. And the Bible, her holding a Bible also shows that her being holy and, oh, I'm so conservative, while the wing in the back shows her true desire. So this is my desire, actually, and these are my true wings. So it is vibrantly colored, and yeah, it might look a little bit chaotic. So it shows my desire to wanting to spread my wings and yeah, become free from all of the restrictions that I was facing. This is a performing art piece. My friends laughed at this work a lot. When I was shooting this, my friends would just like come in and they would look at me, and the look that they gave me, I still remember. It was a little embarrassing, but yeah, I was very, very desperate to get something out of this. So yeah, this is also based on my childhood. It is the same idea from the previous one. So this one I'm wearing a Tinker Bell outfit, and I'm holding very, very big candy wraps. And in the back, there is an installation of wings, and I edited a video so that it plays a video. So this is kind of similar to my previous work that I have shown you. The wings show my true desires, and I am wearing a Tinkerbell outfit that I have always wanted to wear when I was little, but now like I'm too old. Like I've grown up too much. So it kind of also shows that bittersweetness, I guess. And yeah, my hidden desire of wanting to do Halloween so bad. And finally, this is my last piece. This is the same idea, but I created a product designer work, and the merchant's design, the name is Wings, and I created a tattoo sticker design, and the pimple patch design, and the headphone case design. So through this product design, I also wanted to tell people that everyone deserves to spread their wings. So I created a product that people can use, and it symbolizes that, oh, you deserve a wing too, you deserve a wing, something like that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching until now. I guess I can also share my stats. So my GPA, my unweighted GPA during high school was 3.89, and my weighted was, I think, 4.1. And I did not take SAT. I did take SAT, but I didn't submit it because it was really bad. And I took 2 APs. I took AP Art History, I got a 4 on it. And I took AP Comparative Government and Politics, I got a 3 on it. And what else should I share? For extracurricular activities, I did a few. I can't really remember all of them, but I was the president of the art club. I was in the student council for about 2 or 3 years. I also did volunteering, and etc, etc. I don't think it was really that important in my application. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, just leave a comment or DM me on my Instagram, and I'll try to answer all of your questions. Thank you for watching.